Hey everyone! What's absolutely up today? I'm here representing Vision Marketing and Design to walk you through the system our team uses to take massive, long-form videos and efficiently spin them into tons of short, highly shareable clips perfect for TikTok and Reels.
We actually run internal team trainings on this exact process live every single weekday around 2 p.m. Eastern, so if you ever want to jump in and see the live system, please feel free to join us anytime. Honestly, once you lock in this streamlined workflow, the need to record separate, specific videos for every single platform completely disappears from your to-do list. You can just take one substantial piece of content, feed it into the engine, and then let a tool like Vizard handle all the necessary heavy lifting required for distribution. So the initial question becomes, why should you even care about using Vizard over everything else on the market right now? Look, I personally used to waste what felt like entire days in older editors like Camtasia, meticulously fiddling with every little timeline detail, agonizing over export settings, and trying to isolate those golden moments manually. Now, Descript is absolutely fantastic for text-based editing, and its overdub feature, which lets you fix audio by typing, is seriously wild and incredibly powerful for quick fixes. However, even with Descript, you're still left with a considerable amount of tiresome manual effort if your goal is to get a clean batch of vertical clips optimized and ready to post immediately. Vizard, on the other hand, was specifically engineered to solve the exact bottleneck that modern content creators are facing with long-form material right now. The core problem is, you have that one great long video, but you need multiple short platform-native clips ready to go without you having to constantly babysit the entire publishing process. For me, the three non-negotiable aspects that absolutely must work well are automatic clip harvesting, set it and forget it auto-scheduling, and a single unified content calendar for total oversight. But I'm not going to just stand here and rattle off those 3 points like some kind of rehearsed sales pitch. I actually want to show you precisely how these elements translate into real, tangible time savings for your week. Step 1 in this entire beautiful process is simply uploading your source material, which can literally be anything: a detailed screen share, an impromptu talking head training session, or even just a raw podcast recording. Once Vizard ingests that large file, it immediately gets to work generating a complete, searchable transcript. And trust me when I say that transcript itself is pure gold for finding exactly what you need. You can then effortlessly search that transcript for specific keywords, niche topics, or even just those specific high-impact moments you remember from the original recording. Here's a solid pro tip from our agency. If your source video features a clear, dominant speaker, or a strong talking head element, the automated clip selection functionality tends to perform significantly better right out of the gate. Conversely, if you're dealing primarily with a screen share, Vizard will still identify potential highlights, but you might need to manually adjust some of the vertical crops so that on-screen text remains perfectly legible. Now that the source material is successfully ingested and analyzed, here's the truly magical part that consistently makes my life so much easier every single week. Vizard actively analyzes hundreds of underlying engagement signals within the content to automatically suggest a curated list of clips that have a high statistical probability of absolutely performing well. It intelligently looks for things like punchy, declarative sentences, strong opening hooks that grab attention immediately, and moments where there are clear emotional spikes detected in the audio track. My personal process involves quickly scrolling through these AI-suggested clips, picking out the handful of ones that resonate most strongly with my content goals for the week. Sometimes the tool nails the perfect 30 to 45 second takeaway exactly, but other times I might just need to trim a single second or two off either end to make it absolutely perfect for the platform's pacing. The most important trick here is to select only those specific clips that manage to explain one single, cohesive idea in its entirety before the clip ends. Remember that short-form vertical videos need to feel incredibly complete and satisfying within that under 60-second runtime to actually retain a viewer's attention. A completely universal editing headache across all workflows has always been dealing with those annoying filler words like and like, and those awkward dead pauses in speech. In my older editing routines, I would spend an unreasonable amount of time scrubbing back and forth just to meticulously eliminate every single one of those verbal stumbles and hesitations. But because Vizard is deeply integrated with that text-based transcript, you can now simply scan the text for those filler phrases and delete them with a single backspace command. The software intelligently processes that text edit, and the video timeline instantly updates itself, shortening any corresponding pauses to create a much tighter delivery. That single editing feature alone has been responsible for saving me hours upon hours of tedious manual labor every single month, which is incredible. It truly feels like you are editing a simple written document, rather than wrestling awkwardly with the traditional constraints of a complicated visual video timeline. If you have ever spent any time editing within Descript, you will immediately understand the power of this text-to-video editing paradigm, but Vizard's clip-first approach streamlines the next steps for social media much better. Moving on, the next critical step involves cropping and expertly reframing your footage. because vertical video orientation is simply the absolute non-negotiable standard across all major feeds right now. If your original source footage is locked in a traditional horizontal 16:9 aspect ratio, Vizard provides very intuitive portrait crop presets for immediate use. It also offers smart reframe options designed to intelligently track key elements like faces, arm faces, or important visual details on the screen, keeping them centered in that tight vertical frame. Sometimes I will actually create several copies of the exact same clip, applying a uniquely different reframe to each one for testing purposes. For example, one version might be a very tight close-up focus solely on my reaction face, while another is slightly zoomed out to provide context for a screen demo or visual aid underneath. This allows you to effectively A/B test which specific framing configuration is generating the best engagement metrics across different social platforms in a very controlled manner. Let's talk about captions for a moment, because in today's noisy digital landscape, providing dynamic, high-quality captions is simply not optional for serious content creators. Vizard excels here by automatically generating those captions for you and offering a really robust set of style templates right out of the box. You can easily customize things like making the opening hook text much bolder, using a smaller font for the body text, or applying your exact brand colors to maintain visual consistency. If the initial automatic transcription mistook a word or a phrase, which, let's be honest, it occasionally does, you can quickly jump in and edit that caption text directly for immediate correction. My preferred layout usually involves placing the main call to action or the creator handle right along the bottom of the screen with the core educational message overlaid across the upper section. This structure ensures that even if a viewer is scrolling with the sound completely off, the primary point of the entire clip is still immediately readable and understood. Next up are those essential branding tweaks that take a raw clip and make it feel like it truly belongs natively on your specific social media feed. This includes easily adjusting background colors, adding a small, subtle logo placement, or quickly designing an effective custom end card to finalize the message. Crucially, if any piece of information from your original horizontal video falls outside the safe viewing area for mobile devices, you can easily use an intro card or a soft banner to contain it. Vizard keeps this entire branding application process extremely low effort, which prevents the final clips from ever looking rushed, thrown together, or just generally unprofessional.
Now let's dive into the real power move: batching content creation and truly scaling your output using the platform's automated flows for maximum effect.
One of my absolute favorite workflows involves uploading an entire week's worth of long-form material, maybe a long Q&A or a recorded webinar all at once to be processed. You then let Vizard go to town, analyzing everything and generating a whole batch of ready-to-go clips, typically sized between 30 and 60 seconds each, complete with captions and even suggested thumbnail options. From there, you simply review them for quality control, make any final small tweaks you deem necessary, and then you can either export them all at once or send them directly into the built-in publishing scheduler. The content scheduler is genuinely the place where you finally get to step away from the screen and stop actively babysitting your publishing calendar for the week. You just configure the frequency you want to post at. Maybe it's daily or perhaps 3 times per week, and Vizard automatically queues those clips across all your connected social media profiles. You even maintain the flexibility to tweak the specific posting times for each individual platform directly within that same scheduling interface, which is super handy. For any creator who is juggling a main YouTube channel, a lively TikTok presence, and the ecosystem of Instagram Reels, this centralized automation truly acts as a massive lifesaver. Just contrast that with the incredibly outdated process: manually exporting a giant MP4 file, transferring it to your phone, and then typing out individual captions for every single upload. Now, you configure the entire batch once, and Vizard takes over the monotonous execution of posting everything exactly when it needs to go live. The integrated content calendar provides that essential bird's eye view, keeping every single piece of scheduled content visible in one organized location for complete control. You can effortlessly move scheduled posts around simply by dragging and dropping them to different dates, adapting instantly to any last-minute changes in your strategy. Furthermore, you can even repurpose that same core clip across multiple platforms while introducing tiny, necessary variations in the accompanying text. For instance, if a clip is perfect for Instagram but needs a slightly punchier caption for the TikTok audience, you just make that one small tweak right in the calendar view before it publishes. This level of centralized planning absolutely annihilates the confusion that comes from trying to manage multiple spreadsheets and relying on constant alarm clock reminders. Now, drawing from my team's practical experience, here are a few crucial tips that always seem to improve results when clipping content for social success. Always strive to select clips that successfully answer a single, distinct question or clearly communicate one very strong, memorable point to the viewer. If you are in a teaching mode, try to condense an entire multi-step process down into just one single, focused, self-contained clip for maximum educational impact. If you are relaying a narrative, make absolutely sure that you get straight to the consequence, the punchline, or the key lesson learned within that critical 20 to 45 second window. And if your original source material happens to be overwhelmingly dominated by screen recordings, consider recording a very short new vocal intro just for the clip. You could literally just use yourself on camera saying something like, "Here's the quick fix you need," just to make that clip feel much more personal and natively connected to a social audience. Now, let's have an honest conversation comparing Vizard against some of the other heavy hitters in the content creation software space that you might already know. Descript remains unmatched for a match when you are focused purely on transcript first editing, and their AI overdub feature is genuinely incredible for fixing a single misplaced word without needing to re-record anything at all. However, it can still feel a little clunky and incomplete when the goal shifts toward efficient batch social media post preparation, often requiring external steps for final scheduling. And then there's Camtasia, which is undoubtedly powerful and offers deep feature sets, but it's definitely starting to show its age and can be quite pricey for what it is. Camtasia is engineered primarily as a timeline-heavy desktop editor, not specifically as a purpose-built engine for rapid social media repurposing and distribution. This is precisely where Vizard confidently shines brightest. It is laser-focused on the long-to-short video conversion, and its scheduling suite eliminates about 70% of the friction that used to severely slow down my entire production pipeline. One small but surprisingly helpful feature that I really appreciate is the robust level of mobile accessibility built directly into the platform for on-the-go work. I commonly keep my main working files stored securely in my Google Drive, and Vizard allows me to pull assets directly from that cloud storage or export finished pieces right back into it. This means if I find myself unexpectedly away from my desk and need to post something immediately, I can review clips, check final captions, or confirm scheduler settings right from my phone. That complete synchronization between the desktop experience and the necessary mobile access point is absolutely critical when your goal is to maintain rigorous posting consistency. We do need to acknowledge a couple of realistic caveats before you jump in, because not every single piece of long-form content naturally translates into highly viral short clips. Talking head-style videos and detailed Q&A sessions are absolutely prime candidates because the content is already speaker-focused and dialogue-driven. Screen shares can certainly work very effectively, but you must remain highly mindful of legibility when you are performing that aggressive vertical crop around the on-screen information. And this is vital. You must always double-check the AI-generated captions and those automatically suggested opening hooks, even if they are 80 to 90% perfect already. That final little human eye and ear check is what elevates the content from simply being good to being truly exceptional and fully ready for primetime posting. When it comes to the final output, the exporting process is extremely straightforward, yielding clean MP4 files that are completely ready for direct uploading across any platform. You also retain the ability to fine-tune the selection of the thumbnail frame, inject those custom end screens we talked about, and create slight variations for meaningful A/B testing. Once everything is finalized, you have that beneficial dual option. Either download and manually upload from your mobile device, or simply let the integrated scheduler handle the automatic publishing sequence. This dual control mechanism ensures that your entire content distribution workflow remains adaptable to whatever unexpected situation the day might throw at you. So, to quickly summarize this entire powerful process for you one last time, start with your long video, let Vizard do the heavy AI analysis to suggest the best clips, and then scan that transcript to clean up language. Next, you must reframe everything perfectly for that portrait mobile view. Apply your standardized caption styles and branding elements, and finally, choose to either export or schedule everything. In my real-world day-to-day operations, implementing this system consistently shaves off what used to be an entire dedicated afternoon just for editing and posting tasks. And what's even better than just being faster is that this is now a completely repeatable, sustainable system that scales automatically, turning one long piece of content into over a week's worth of scheduled posts. If you are looking to really test this workflow out yourself, I highly recommend grabbing a recent long Q&A or a webinar recording and uploading it to the tool right now. Then, select about 4 to 6 truly solid moments, give them that quick, necessary polish with titles and branding, and then schedule them out over the course of the next couple of weeks. I promise you will quickly see a dramatic difference, not only in your actual reach metrics, but perhaps more importantly, in your own daily professional sanity. All right, that's everything for today's quick deep dive. Thank you so much for hanging out with me and absorbing this process. I'll be back soon with even more deep dives into cutting-edge repurposing techniques and building truly bulletproof content systems for your brand. If you have any specific questions at all about platform aspect ratios or need help deciding which specific moments to select from your source file, please drop them down in the comments below. I actively monitor the comments section, and I will personally jump in there to help clear up any confusion or offer more tailored advice where I can. Finally, I want to encourage you to truly go out there and make your unique vision a reality in the marketplace every single day. Just remember to leverage these powerful tools to manage the repetitive heavy lifting so you can dedicate your precious mental energy to the creative work that genuinely matters most to your success.